Welcome friends, I'm Michaela and I'll be your yoga teacher for today. In this class we will be exploring BAKASANA or crow pose as well as some of its foundations. So to begin, we'll start on our back in supine position. Keep the knees bent, arms alongside the body, and just use your hands to balance you as we will be lifting our legs at about 45 or so degrees. Take a deep inhale and exhale, lower the feet down and just kiss the heels against the floor and lift them back up. Slowly lower. Wasting no time today. We're just going to hop right into it. 3 and 4. Using control, using your breath. We'll go for 10. Eight. 9. And one more. Great. I guess we should come back up, right? Finish it? Okay. Bend the knees. Take them in. Upanasana. Give it a little wiggle side to side. Find stillness. Lift the feet up to the sky. Take your hands alongside the outside edges of your feet and pull your knees down into your armpits for a little bit of happy baby. Always feels good to just rock a bit on the spine, or at least it does for me. Deep inhale. And on your exhale, you can see how the bottom can lift. I encourage you to roll the sacrum down, flatten the back, and just plug that part of your pelvis down against the mat. And then exhale, lower your feet to the ground. I'm going to show you an alternative to crow pose, and it's reclined crow pose. So we're actually going to try it on our backs first before we move into the arm balance itself later on in the sequence. And this just allows you to, one, try it out. Maybe you've never tried it out. And it also provides you with equal benefits because it's still asking the same foundation of you, even though we're in this position. So inhale your knees up, take your feet together, toes together, and open the knees wide. Straighten the palms out in front of you as if you were protecting yourself from getting hit. Somebody's throwing something at you. So palms are facing front. They're straight out. Now take your knees up alongside your triceps. So immediately this becomes way more difficult as soon as we turn on our abs here. Well, this is the same thing that we're doing when we're in the arm balance. It's just that our hands are against the floor. And we're obviously not required to really balance on our hands. We're balancing kind of on our back this time. So exhale, lower the pelvis back down, hands come down alongside the body, and just let the pose go. Deep inhale, and we'll try that one more time just in case anybody's a little confused. So inhale, lift the hips or lift the legs, toes together, knees apart. Hands come through, press as if we were pressing away from the body or pressing into the ground. Inhale, take your knees up alongside either side of your triceps. And squeeze everything in, up into the pelvis. Maybe point the toes, bring the knees in as high up into the armpits as possible. Deep inhale. And exhale, lower the feet. Great. Inhale your knees in and just rock yourself up. Maybe take 2 rocks up to a seat. Place your hands on the mat and roll through to your hands and knees or tabletop position. Settle back on your toes. Take your left hand and just place it around your right wrist and just do some wrist circles because we will be balancing later on our wrist. It's always great to stretch them too. Doing circles one way and then the other, and switching hands. Right hand just around the left wrist and just doing some circles one way and then the other. Okay, this one's very crickety-crackety today. Come onto your hands and knees. Turn so the butt of our palm is facing the front of our mat. So our fingers will be facing the back of the mat. And just lean back gently into the fingertips or back on your heels. For a forearm stretch. And this time, take the tops of your wrists and place it down. And this time, again, settling back on the heels. And we'll stretch the front of the forearms this time. And this time, flipping the hands so they're neutral. Wrists underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Drop the belly, lift the chest. Shine the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Exhale the airway. Inhale, roll through each vertebra. Exhale, round, navel into spine. Inhale, cow. And exhale, round. Find neutral spine, curl the toes under, and send the hips up and back for a downward facing dog, or Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Look forward at the space between your hands, bend the knees, and take a little step or a hop in. Inhale, create space, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, arms down, around and up, and hands come down through heart center. Palms face the front, shoulder blades back, eyes forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold over your legs. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step the feet back for plank. Bend the elbows, either coming all the way down to the mat for cobra or inhaling, coming up into upward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Always your choice. Take the back bend that you desire. Inhale, look at the space between your hands, bend the knees. Maybe take a little hop in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Hands come down through heart center. Roll through our Surya Namaskar again. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet back. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. And look at the space between your hands. Little half hop in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt the heart forward. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Once more, palms face the front, shoulder blades back. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Pause here in downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Invite your heels down to the mat. Inhale your right leg up and back. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down, low lunge. Inhale, arms alongside the ears. Drop your right hand down, left hand up and over. And swoop your left hand down to the mat. Heel toe your right foot out. So your toes are off the mat and your right heel is on the mat. Right hand to your knee. Open the heart to the ceiling. Lizard pose. Bend into the back, left knee, pardon me, and reach back with your right hand. So right hand grasps left foot for a little quad stretch, as well as opening up at the chest. Exhale. Plant your hand, curl up on your back, left toes. Pick up your right foot, come into tiger curl. We're going to take it a knee around the clock. So this one's a little bit tricky. So we have our knee up here. Take it over to the left tricep, down to the left wrist, over to the right wrist, and back up to the right tricep. That's one. Let's try for, that's two. Let's go for 5. And one more. Send your right hip up and back. Straight leg, 3-legged dog. And exhale your right foot down to the mat. Excellent. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale, left foot up and back. And exhale, step your left foot between your hands, drop your right knee down, low lunge. Second side, inhale, arms alongside the ears. Drop the left hand down, right hand up and over. Swoop your right hand down. Heel toe your left foot out so your toes are off the mat. Heel is on the mat. Turn the heart up to the ceiling. Bend into your back knee and reach back with your left hand. So left hand grasps right foot. Take the foot into the seat. And release the foot down. Plant your hands. I'll take it a knee around the clock again. So prop up on your back foot. Inhale, lift your left foot up. Left knee to left tricep. Down to left wrist. Over to right wrist. Up to right tricep. Back to left tricep. That's 1. We'll go for 5. 3. Wrist, wrist, tricep, tricep. 4. Wrist, wrist, tricep, tricep. 5. Inhale, your left leg up and back. And exhale, lower it down to downward facing dog. Deep inhale. And exhale. Look at the space between your hands. Take a little step in. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. We'll be moving into BAKASANA, or eagle pose, because we're getting 2 bird poses in today, hey? So root through your right foot. I like to come up on my left toes, seal down my right foot. Inhale, knee rises, and wrap it over your right knee. Begin to sink into your hips, and perhaps you can then get a double wrap. Left hand will come under right arm. We're in BAKASANA, or eagle pose. Sometimes if you're feeling a little unbalanced, you can kind of cheat and just kickstand your toes, use them for balance. Another great thing is to find something that's not moving somewhere in the room, a point to gaze at, or your dristi. Deep inhale, exhale, sink a little lower maybe. Next inhale, release the arms, release the legs, grow tall, knee rises, lift up. Exhale, hands come down to the hips and step your left foot back behind you. Maybe readjust your stance. Straighten through the front leg. Take a little half step in. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, hinge the torso over the front thigh for pyramid. Hands can come down to the mat. Always a great pose for a block as well. So draw your right hip back in space. Inhale, maybe finding a halfway lift, creating some space in the torso. And exhale, melt the heart over your thigh. Inhale, rise halfway. Take your hands to your hips and using your glutes and your back to lift you up the rest of the way. And step your left foot forward to meet your right. And we'll move on to BAKASANA on the second side. So root through your left foot. Pick up your toes on the right side. Feel yourself growing stable through the left foot. Inhale, lift the right knee and take it over across your left. Begin to hinge and sink into your hips. And as you bend the knees, it'll allow you more space to wrap around, maybe sink a little lower. Right hand threads underneath the left this time. Eagle pose. Second side. Deep inhale, finding a point to gaze at. Perhaps this time dropping the elbows down and your hands away from the face. For an upper back stretch. And release the hands, release the legs, grow tall, knee comes up with you. Hands release down to your hips and send your right foot back. Straighten through the front leg. Take a little half step in. Grow tall in the torso. And exhale, begin to hinge forward at the waist. When you get about halfway, hands can come down to the mat for a block for pyramid pose. And I encourage you to use your breath to perhaps inhale, we create space, and exhale, encourage your torso down to the thigh. Plug the left thigh back in space. And toes and the front of the hips facing the front of the mat. Inhale, rise. Halfway, hands to the hips. And use your abs and your glutes and your back to pull you up to standing. And step your right foot forward to meet your left. Heel your toe, your feet out, and drop the seat down. We are in Malasana. I'm going to come into the middle of my mat just a bit. So we have our elbows on the inside of our knees, hands in prayer. Malasana, garland pose. Beautiful. So from Malasana, we will plant the hands down on the mat, lift the bottom up, and heel toe your feet in so your toes are touching. Maybe walk them in just a little bit. We want them nice and close to our hands. We'll be moving into BAKASANA next. On our toes, our hands pressing into the mat. Take the toes together, knees wide. We have our same foundation as when we were lying on our back. Rise onto the toes and take the knees into the armpits or just on either side of the tricep. With our hands pressing into the mat, lean forward on our toes and center your weight into your hands. Inhale, lift one foot and practice. Maybe lowering it down, try the other one. And when you feel as if you would like to take off, and same. So hands are pressing into the mat, toes together, knees apart, knees into the armpits or on either side of the tricep. Lift the bottom. Weight comes into your hands. Lift one foot and tuck it up. And then the other. And now you are flying in BAKASANA. And slowly lower. Another great thing is to use a block. Again, hands in the mat, toes together on the block, knees apart. And this will help you build strength, the necessary strength to lift up our pelvis and our legs while we take off in the arm balance, as well as to practice that feeling of finding your center of gravity and your weight in your hands. So always option to stay here in your block and just play with your balance a little bit. Or again, if you're looking for the full pose, just propping up. Knees into the armpits, lift those feet, and slowly lower down. Great. Whew. Come down to a seat. We'll cross our legs. Left hand over onto the right thigh. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, look over your right shoulder. Little twist. And release. Right hand to left thigh. Inhale. Grow tall. Exhale. Release. Come back to neutral. Release the legs out in front of you. Flex through the ankles, toes facing up to the ceiling. Grow tall in the spine. Inhale, arms alongside the ears. And exhale, begin to hinge forward at the waist, reach for your toes. And exhale, walk yourself back up. Release the toes, let the legs go. Hands alongside the hips. Flex through the toes. Grow tall in the spine. Inhale, arms reach high. And exhale, hinge forward. Paschimottanasana. Take an inhale in the pose and exhale. Walk yourself back out. Shift the seat forward just a bit and exhale yourself down to the mat. Take the heels close to the seat. Maybe you can tickle them with your fingertips. Press the feet into the mat and inhale, lift the pelvis up for a little bridge. And exhale, carries down. Great pose for a block if you have one handy. On your next inhale, press your feet into the mat, lift the pelvis, and slip a block in there, in whichever setting is best for you. And just take a moment to breathe here, 3 to 5 breaths. On your next inhale, press the feet into the mat, lift the hips gently, remove the block, and lower the hips down. Inhale, knees into chest, Apanasana. Give them a little squeeze. Shift them over to the left. A little supine twist. Inhale, take your knees back to center. Give them a little squeeze. Take it over to the right. Next inhale, take the knees back to neutral. Give them one last little squeeze. And exhale, let the feet go. Oh, that was close. Just kicked over my water. Are you even a yoga teacher if you don't kick over your own or someone else's water? Let the feet go. Close off the eyes if you haven't already. Right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart. Shavasana. When you're ready, make your way up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this practice has served you well. You can find me on social media at Michaela's Musings. I would love to hear about your yoga journey. And from my heart to yours, namaste.